he's with us.
He's with us.
The internet is going at us, bro.
I know, dude.
We're emotional.
The fake
We're
news
wrong.
media. We're not emotional. Oh, you're supposed to be emotional, dude. How could you not be emotional
Passionate.
about freaking sports? And I tried to. We already said, dude. The edits, they kind of did me dirty. You know how crazy you have to edit something to make it look like you got after my ass, because that's not what happened at all.
I feel like I did a few times get at you.
Just because you're louder, that doesn't make you right. That's what that the one girl that was on it. That's what she told me. So I'm gonna go off that. So just because you're louder, it doesn't mean
Stealing
you're right.
takes already on He's With Us. Stealing takes. How you feeling about role player LeBron?
Oh my goodness, bro! Let's get right into the Swiss Army knife era, the re-apexing of LeBron. A lot of these people, again, I don't know, you're a basketball guy, right? You actually know what you're talking about. Because coming into this season, a lot of people said he's not going to be able to embrace this role, right? Being a full-time off-ball player, being the third option, which isn't even true. Obviously, he's better than Austin Reeves. But if you've watched LeBron at all over the course of his career, especially these last couple of years, and you have a functioning brain in your head or some semblance of one, LeBron is fantastic off the ball, dude. His three ball has developed. It's gotten better as he's gotten older. This year, he's can't really find the rim. He's shooting like 30%, I believe, from three. So hasn't exactly worked out shooting-wise this year for him, but cutting off the ball, he's fantastic. And we've seen that recently. I feel like these last couple months, bro, and Luka, which I want to get into Luka as well, he's playing at like an all-time level. But LeBron has finally embraced his role. And this team is rolling right now, dude. And when you have a guy like LeBron James playing this hard, this late into his career, if I'm Rui, if I'm DeAndre Ayton, who's another guy who's embraced his role, and I would like to talk about that, that fires you up, man. When you have a guy diving on the floor at 41 years of age, the greatest player to ever step foot on a basketball court, doing that on a random Tuesday night, or I think it was a Sunday, whatever. How does that not make you play harder? What do you think of this? Because I could talk about it all day.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. I would say that, it always comes back to the Michael Jordan, LeBron James debate.
Right, we don't have
But seriously, I don't think Michael Jordan could have adjusted to a role like LeBron is now. Like we saw with the Wizards, he still had to be the man at 41.
Yeah.
And see LeBron have a career high in assisted buckets.
Yeah.
At this point, he could play pick and pop. The shooting will get better during the playoffs. I think
100%.
that he's playing a role in a way that we haven't seen from an aging star, and he's probably the greatest role player to ever live.
Bro, I think that has to we don't have to dive right into LeBron Jordan, right? But like that has to be another feather in his cap, dude. Like the fact that he's able to transition. How many different versions of I was thinking about this the other day, dude. He started playing in 2003. That was when you graduated high school, right? I was like 3 years old, but
right.
We've seen him transition so many different versions of the NBA and so many different versions of LeBron James. Like that has to count for something, man. Like he's 41. He's in his 23rd season. How is he still playing at this level? He's averaging what, 21, 7, and 6, something like that. Like that's a lot of people's peak. He's still playing at an all-star level. He's still playing, not quite. I mean, last year he was all NBA. This year I don't think he is, but I don't know. It just fires me up, man, because he's always been a team guy. He's always been, the narratives about him I've never really understood. Obviously, I'm the most biased person you could possibly be. I love this guy, but I've never understood the selfishness, the ego. Obviously, he has a big ego. Like, he's the greatest and he's a billionaire, dude. You'd probably be have a big ego as well. Yeah. I have a big ego and I'm a loser, Like obviously the guy has somewhat of an ego.
Do you think Michael Jordan would be able to fit in a role like LeBron is now?
Dude, no. I mean, didn't we see that on the Wizards, as you said?
Yeah.
Like, I know that was kind of a marketing thing. He was like a part owner of the team, but like he got flowers for averaging 20 on a bad team.
Yeah. Like,
he was not good. He was the face of the team. And, like, you didn't see him diving on the floor, bro. You didn't see – actually, let me get into this because you're a little bit more you follow a little bit closer than I for the majority of the season. These morons who keep coming out and saying, that the Lakers aren't legit or, like, the Lakers would be better without LeBron. That's something we've heard a ton this year, right? What do you do on like nights like this past week when he's playing at this level, when he's giving you 30 on what, 12 of 13,
90% shooting
shot, that he got tackled? Did you see the shot? I mean, I had to almost freaking got off the couch. I was a little upset about that. They tackled the guy. It should have been 3 fouls. Dude, What did those guys say? I just heard Colin Cowherd was saying they'd be better with like Jaden McDaniels or like these people, the LeBron haters. They love to get stuff off their chest and then nobody holds them accountable. When again, they're not better without LeBron. That's not like a
Their
that's
ceiling definitely can't be higher. It won't be higher without LeBron James in the playoffs to win a championship.
Yeah, but there's just no facts on that. Why do people say? Can you enlighten me? I don't understand how these.
No,
people,
because they look at a small sample size, the analytics, the numbers, and they might say that this lineup is better than this lineup over a course of time. But at the end of the day, when you have LeBron James against the aliens, I'm taking LeBron over anybody,
of course,
over everybody,
even this version of him.
Yeah, but to your point, and you talked about Luka a little bit, the groupthink around Luka Dončić.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Everybody wants to talk about
Sorry, I'm not.
Everybody wants to talk about what he can't do.
Yeah,
but nobody wants to talk about what he can do.
Yeah.
The guy's a basketball savant, won EuroLeague MVP at 19 years old, led a team to a championship, and in that championship, his second best player, Kyrie Irving, had to have surgery right after that championship, and he led his team in assists, rebounds, points, and not only that, steals.
Yeah.
And the numbers say he's not a terrible defender on top of all that.
Yeah, and neither do my eyes. If you actually watch basketball, I've been extremely critical of Luka, bro. Last year, so he's one of my favorite players. Like, I love the guy, right? He was not very good last year, and even the majority of this season, like the first half, and again, I'm not going to claim like I watch every game, but like the complaining, like I sound like an old man with some of these takes, but like...
And he's been doing less of that lately, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. Something has flipped a little bit, and I know he's got some off-the-court things going on, and I don't know if he's just like so dialed in on basketball right now. Well, he certainly is because he's averaging 40 the last 8 games. They're winning, and he's always near a triple-double. Look at his season averages, bro. We take him for granted because of, like, he entered the league. He had one of the best rookie seasons I had ever seen. And then by year 2, at 20 years of age, he's already a first-team All-NBA performer. He had 5 straight first-team All-NBA. He was in his 6th season at 25 years old. He's got 5 first-team All-NBA finishes. It seems like he kind of has MVP voter fatigue. Even though he's never won an MVP, it doesn't really make any sense. He's in the mix
every year. He's All-NBA every year.
Dude, he's averaging like 34, 9, and 9. Has anyone ever done that ever? Like, those are LeBron numbers.
They said he was over the hill. People were saying he's over the hill this season.
What are they and look, that's why, I mean, I was extremely critical of him for all of last season into the playoffs. I had a hard time watching it, right? Like the lack of the screaming at refs, it gets to a point where it is kind of bizarre, right?
Yeah, when he doesn't get back on defense. It's kind of crazy.
And like, again, that's like the most old man take of all time, but it was very valid because he was doing that. I've seen, dude, I can't explain how excited I've been watching these last couple of weeks because he does get so much hate. And I'll just say it, and I don't think this is a hot take. I love SGA. I love Jokic. Jokic, did I just pronounce that weird? Luka's fastball is faster than anyone's, dude. He dragged the team backwards to the finals. How many guys can do that in the NBA right now? I don't know if any of again, SGA has a great team. We saw Jokic make a run. When did they win? Like 22 or 23. Mm-hmm. But he had a pretty great team around him. He had Murray going out. Like the way Luka did that, we've seen him rise in the playoffs every year. I wouldn't want to be playing the Lakers right now, is all I'm saying. I'm as biased as it gets. But when that guy is playing at this level, he's doing all-time stuff right now, dude. And I'm not going to discredit SGA because I really do like SGA. And I'm not even saying SGA's had a better year. I think SGA is probably going to win MVP. Actually,
I don't know. I don't know. If Luka, we got to see how the season finishes out, bro.
We do have a little. What are there? 15 games left?
Yeah,
there's more than I thought.
Luka is leading the league in scoring on very high efficiency.
Yeah, and he also averages like 9 assists.
And also, he's one of the greatest passers to ever live. Yeah,
that's another thing. If you're just comparing the two of them, when it comes to efficiency, right? SGA is kind of on another level, but. Dude, like, Luka as an offensive engine, I'm taking Luka running my offense.
He's offensive himself.
Yeah. And dude, that takeover late against Houston was out of this world. And I don't think SGA can do that. And again, I just, man, again, I know I said that earlier. His fastball is faster, but that's how I feel. When he's on, and he's been on every single night recently, nobody else can do that. Yeah. Nobody else. Again, going like bucket for bucket with SGA is one thing. He's certainly a better three-point shooter than SGA, which gives him a different level to his game, and he's certainly a better passer and playmaker. And that stuff matters when SGA is not getting the whistle in the playoffs because he's a fraud, he's a flopper, he's saved by the refs What was that?
Yeah, no,
No,
65
I'm kidding.
game
That's not
rule
true.
is going to really disrupt this MVP conversation because Cade Cunningham should be the NBA MVP, and unfortunately he got a collapsed lung, and he might not make that game requirement, but nobody has done more with less than Cade Cunningham. He lost Malik Beasley. He lost Schroeder. He lost Tim Hardaway Jr., and they're even better this year,
Yeah.
and he's leading this team to the best record in the East. And now we'll look back. Cade Cunningham won't be All-NBA, and he won't be the MVP.
You got to put the vape down, brother. All due respect to my guy, Cade Cunningham, dude. Well, I'll give you your flowers because before the season started, I believe you said Cade, I don't know if you said he was going to win MVP, but you definitely spoke very highly of him. And Knippel, you were very high that he was going to be a Rookie of the Year, you know? So
I always knew I was a prophet, but I couldn't find a decent job. Who said that?
what's that?
I always knew I was a prophet, but I couldn't find a decent job.
My grandfather
Jay-Z,
always said
Jay-Z.
that.
But go ahead.
Jay-Z.
I'm always hitting you with these references. I hit you with the dial-out reference, but go ahead.
Wait,
but
what
go
was
ahead.
that? Some comments were saying that.
Yeah,
I
they
didn't
said
get
you don't
that.
know culture, bro.
Yeah, I know.
You were like, I have no idea.
But let's stay on topic, dude. But what was I saying before you fucking
Cade
interrupted
Cunningham,
me?
Knippel,
Yeah.
Cade.
So Cade, bro, who could have predicted that they would be this good? And even, well, actually, let's get into the 65 game rule because that was something when it made sense. We call it the Joel Embiid rule, right? Or the load management Kawhi. Like that seemed like a decent idea when it came out. I think 65 might be a little high. Maybe it should have been lower, like 60, 62, something like that. I think we've seen now that it's not really a great idea, right? And if you're a guy like Cade who had like a first team All NBA season right now, and then what? We're going to forget about it? Like 10 years back, we look back and we're like, oh, I thought Cade had
Imagine Wemby, Jokic, and Cade don't make All NBA first team and MVP,
Well,
or be an MVP conversation in the conversation.
There are a bunch of, and
Yeah.
then when it goes down the list, like the third team All NBA guys are just going to be not All NBA guys, right? So it really dilutes the meaning of the award or the recognition, but it also just doesn't make sense. And then when it comes to these contracts, right, because that stuff plays into it, which I don't understand how it plays in. Like, why can you get a certain amount more money if you're an All-NBA player? Like, if some people behind some corporate suits decide that you're a better player, now I get to pay you $40 more million a year. That makes no sense. And especially now that the fact that you could be a first-team All-NBA level player, you played in 63 games, and now you're missing out on that much money, right? Like, that makes no sense to me. But the rule itself just doesn't make sense. Like, if you're the best player, I think I saw something that Embiid, the year he won MVP, was like not even the top 100 in minutes played that season. That's crazy. But, like, I don't know. What do you think they should do? Because I don't know if they should just go away with it entirely, if they should move it to 60.
They should get rid of it entirely, and voters should be able to put availability into their decisions in voting, right?
100%.
Like, yeah, okay, Jokic has 63, but he's way more valuable than this guy at 80.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but, if the guy at 80 was a little bit, you got to be able to figure that out as a voter. I mean, these guys
agree.
are smart enough to do that.
Yeah.
The other thing that the NBA needs to fix is tanking, and they have to do it with relegation. So the two worst teams should go to the G League.
Yo, stop.
Imagine Trae Young and Anthony Davis in the G League next year.
I don't agree
Hey,
with
teams
that.
won't tank, bro. Teams won't tank if you create relegation. I remember playing overseas. It was even fun playing at the bottom, bro, because there was something to play for.
I thought you were going to say,
I
if
I remember being happy my team didn't get relegated.
what if the Pelicans came over and were playing you overseas? Like that wouldn't be as exciting, right? They'd probably get smoked.
Imagine Zion in the G League. He
be
would
a
cook,
problem.
bro.
I like that idea as a concept.
You
but
didn't seem to like it from your facial expression.
Well, yeah, because I don't like it at all, dude. I'm moving around. I'm not used to being in like a studio, dude.
You're not used to being next to
I'm
greatness.
Well, I don't see that happening anytime soon, dude. They got me with the night shift at Ripley's, believe it or not, or whatever. But yeah. Well, what do you think? They said they might do the expansion teams, or they're voting on that somewhat soon.
And what do you? I believe.
I don't agree. So how are you going to be anti-tanking, and then you say, bro, a third of the NBA is like doesn't have a competitive roster at all. Like they're as a franchise, they just like seem to kind of have mailed it in a little bit. Like how are you just going to add two more teams?
That's not a talent issue. That's a management and coaching issue more than anything. I think there's more than enough talent to have two more teams, and people would disagree with me on that. But the talent pool is deeper than ever before, especially with the international game being here and seeing that the last 7 MVPs have been international players. I think we have more than enough talent to have 2 more basketball teams.
100% agree with that. I don't understand anyone who the league is more talented than ever, right? And like, if you don't agree with that, I don't know.
And then
what
Seattle
to tell
needs
you.
a team. And Vegas, like, I'm in Vegas every summer for summer league. Like, Vegas is legit to have for a pro team. Like, you need it there.
What I was saying, anyone who says there's not enough good players, I saw some talking head give that take recently. That makes no sense, right? There are certainly plenty of good players to have two
I think it was
legit
Perkins,
teams.
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get into that guy's takes, but if you're, where was I going with that? I just think you constantly see the same teams at the bottom of the barrel every single year, right? So, like, I don't know if adding 2 more teams, I don't know. I guess I don't know what I'm saying. I just feel like a couple teams, like you mentioned the Wizards, because they're terrible every year and they make this move. They bring in 2.
But think about,
They bring in 2 great guys, and I mean, obviously, it's a kind of a weird move, but like you got to do what you got to do to survive when you're the Washington Wizards, and it's like, I don't know, what's their ceiling? Even if both of those guys are playing, they're like a 7
Well,
seed
it's
or
actually
something.
a good segue because I believe like their best fit is actually AJ Dybantsa, who should be the #1 pick of this NBA draft. If you don't believe AJ Dybantsa is the #1 pick, then you are overthinking it. The shooting was supposed to be an improvement area. He's shooting 35% from 3.
Yeah.
The playmaking is better.
Yeah.
He dropped 20 in the first half in a tournament game. And I think his archetype of player is the most important archetype, the 6'8", versatile wing.
Yeah.
Better than any other archetype. And I just believe, like, if you don't think he's the #1 pick, you're overthinking it.
I agree. Anytime you can lead a team to, what were they, 8 and 10 in the Big 12, they were like the 8 seed in the Big 12. They get bounced in the first round. Like, you got to take that guy #1.
Yeah, and Cam Boozer is...
Did you not? I'm saying... does he win basketball? What, he can score? He has some flashy highlights, bro. Does he win games?
He's going to be a good NBA player, but his ceiling...
I agree. I'm
no,
just joking.
No, you don't have to joke. I mean, I could see the good college basketball vibes. Like, it's like the Christian Laettner, Timmy vibes, but he's going to be better than that. He's going to be a really good NBA player. He just doesn't have the ceiling of a Darren Peterson, of an AJ Dybantsa, maybe even of an Acuff.
Oh, you're talking about Boozer. I was saying Dybantsa because whatever, they got bounced in the first round. It's like, dude, you should be able to get past an 11 seed Texas if you're going to be. I almost like you to be a worse college player, right? If you're too good in college, I'm like, something wrong. I want to get into Boozer there a little bit, but Dybantsa, what do you? I see him as kind of like a Paul George type of player. And
Boozer?
No.
Oh, AJ. Oh, AJ. I can see
Am
that.
I pronouncing that right? Dybantsa?
Well, nobody knows. That's a whole other topic for another day.
Perfect. Good. But yeah, I think he's a special offensive player, and like you said, like what's better, like a 6'8", 6'9" wing who can create, who could score at all levels, like that. He's the first overall. And with all this stuff with Peterson, I feel like I haven't heard his name as much these last couple months. Early in the season, that was all anyone wanted to talk about, right? Was this like, is he subbing himself out? Is he faking an injury? Like, I don't know. And like with the band, you don't have those issues with AJ.
Polarizing opinions about him because some people are telling me close to the program that he's 6'6" Kyrie Irving.
Is he really?
That's what they're telling me.
That sounds like the greatest basketball player of all time, dude. He is special. And on that efficiency, bro, like you looked, he would give you, 28 and it's like he missed 2 shots. Like I think I think this is a special draft, bro. I think both those guys are great. I didn't know who Acuff, I didn't know who he was till a week ago. Now I'm telling you, he's Calipari's greatest guard, and he's going to be a legend. But I want to talk about Boozer because I've watched more Duke recently these last couple of weeks. Very interested in Boozer, dude.
Yeah,
what do you think about Boozer? And I'm a Carlos Boozer fan, dude. Carlos Boozer was an absolute problem.
There was a point where Carlos Boozer was in the MVP conversation of the NBA.
Multiple-time top 10 finish. I mean, if you for some reason, Carlos Boozer and Tim Duncan, they both gave you like 18 and 9 for their careers. For one is like a top 5 player of all time. The other was a fringe all-star. We can get into that at a later date, Tim Duncan, if you need someone to give you 20, he's got you. If you need someone to give you 40, he'll give you 20.
Tim Duncan was great, but I don't know how his game would translate to the modern NBA. I'm not sure about it.
Go on. What are you not sure about? Because this is a great discussion.
You don't have to be a great shooter, but it's very important in today's game, and I don't know if that would translate. He only shot 38% on long twos, and then on top of that, can he guard in space, which is very important for every player in the NBA. Maybe you could anchor a defense with him, but I don't think on a switch he could guard anybody. We've seen Kobe fry him over and over and over again. I think he's a great player for his time, but I don't think his game translates as well as some of the other greatest players in NBA history.
So I have a very strong take on this, right? So Tim Duncan, I think, is the picture. We talk about how much the game has changed, right? And Tim Duncan at the time was called like the big fundamental. But like then you ask someone what he does better than DeMarcus Cousins on a basketball court, and then people have no answer, right? It's like he's the big fundamental, but he can't shoot it like DeMarcus Cousins. He can't pass like DeMarcus Cousins. He can't get to the tin like DeMarcus Cousins. Like, well, maybe he doesn't do anything better than DeMarcus Cousins. Here's what I'll tell you though, because you asked earlier about how does Jordan translate.
Can I say one thing though?
Please.
Cat could handle, pass, shoot better than Pat Ewing, but Pat Ewing is clearly better. So
well,
there's
that's okay.
So
great.
there's
what does Pat Ewing do? Don't ask. A man his salary.
There's skill, and then there's actual player conversations. Like you could be more 100%. Skillful than somebody, but not actually be a better basketball player.
Well, I agree. Yeah. That's why Tim Duncan is probably better than DeMarcus Cousins. Maybe I don't know. But so Tim Duncan, right? He was known for being a great shooting big man at the time, right? Because he wasn't expected to take another step back and shoot threes. I think Kevin Garnett. Go watch a Kevin Garnett Deep 2 compilation, and you'll have to turn off after 10 seconds because he shoots with like 1 foot behind the line, right? He shoots all these deep 2s. Those don't exist in today's game. I think now this gets into a weird debate, and this is what I always say when people talk about Jordan in today's era or LeBron in the 90s. If Tim Duncan was born 20 years later, I think he would be a great three-point shooter because he would have developed that. If Kevin Garnett was born 20 years later, he would be a great three-point 100%. Shooter. I think those
Scottie
guys...
Pippen, Michael Jordan would all shoot it well from three today.
Yeah, Scottie Pippen, maybe some of the other guys mentioned, but if
Not Jordan?
Huh?
Not Jordan?
Well, what would have changed? I mean, what was he? He shot 32% from the three, I think. I mean, you ask a Jordan fan, this is like probably the greatest thing Jordan fans do. Like they'll say he's a better shooter than LeBron. And you're like, what do you base it? You just think he is?
Well, mid-range, he was more efficient. And then he'd probably be able to stretch that out in the modern NBA. I mean, he had work ethic. He would work at the three ball.
I know that.
And then also, we have
this is what I'm saying.
No, but also we would have more. We have more information now on how to shoot better, and he would find that information. And he would work at it.
Information? What do you do? Lethal shooter? I understand it.
Not only him, but we do know how to shoot the basketball better now.
Okay, I mean, this is the most Jordan fan cope thing I've ever heard. Like, we didn't know how to shoot the basketball back then, dude. What are we talking about?
I go back and forth with Jordan and LeBron. Like, I could see it either way.
I don't want to do that, right? So I was just saying, it's
hard. You don't think Jordan would be a better shooter today?
Who fucking cares what I think? Jordan would be great. I don't know. LeBron would be a better shooter back then. I don't know.
Of course.
Once we get into these weird hypotheticals, which I'm giving a very weird hypothetical
first of all,
right now with Tim Duncan, I understand. I want to go there.
Right. But talking generation to generation, they're all hypotheticals anyway.